All right, let's dive right in. Today, we are unpacking the absolute chaos that exploded online after a real-world tragedy. A political star is assassinated, and somehow a billionaire's social media feed becomes the main event. It's a wild one, so let's get to it. Okay, just think about it for a second. You get that push notification on your phone. A public figure has just been killed. What's your immediate reaction? Like, are you stunned? Do you talk to someone about it? You're probably just trying to get your head around the news, right? Well, if you're Elon Musk, your first move is to start posting. And, when you actually own the platform, your unfiltered reaction doesn't just go out to your friends. It goes out to the entire world, instantly.
So to really get a grip on the online firestorm, you first have to understand the shocking event that lit the fuse.
The news was just staggering. Charlie Kirk, a really prominent conservative voice, founder of Turning Point USA, was killed during a debate on a college campus. It was chaotic, and in those first few hours, nobody knew who the suspect was. But while everyone was trying to process this awful news, one person's reaction completely hijacked the narrative. It wasn't just part of the story. It became the story. And look, this wasn't just one tweet. We are talking about a rapid-fire series of posts from Elon Musk on his own platform X that just kept escalating and escalating. So at first, his reaction seemed pretty standard. As the first reports were coming in, he posted this, just hoping Kirk would pull through. But that tone? Yeah, it was about to change. Fast. And here's the pivot. He replied to another post that was already pointing fingers at the left, and boom. He just dropped this incredibly blunt, sweeping statement. No holding back. And he wasn't done. He then aimed his fire at his rival social network, Blue Sky, making this accusation based on something he saw. You could literally see his initial shock turn into raw public anger pointed right at his rivals. From that point on, things got even more intense. Musk wasn't just blaming people anymore. He was starting to talk in terms of pure good versus evil. And this is where the story gets pretty messy. So on one hand, you have Musk claiming people on Blue Sky were cheering this on, but on the other hand, people on his own platform, X, started pushing back, posting screenshots that seemed to show a much sadder, more shocked reaction over there. So did Musk see those other screenshots and maybe soften his stance? Nope, he doubled down. In that same conversation, he posted this, basically drawing a hard line in the sand. And then the conversation jumped from the screen to the real world. Someone mentioned a coworker who was allegedly happy about the news, and Musk's advice wasn't just to ignore them, it was to confront them face to face. So what is going on here? Why was this reaction so visceral, so personal? Well, to get that, we need to look at the connection between Musk and Kirk before all of this happened. Turns out, Charlie Kirk was a very vocal supporter of Elon Musk. He was a huge fan of the Twitter takeover and saw Musk as this key figure who was saving free speech in the US. Kirk was also out there publicly trying to be a peacemaker between Musk and Donald Trump. He really believed that if those two powerful guys got on the same page, it would be a huge deal. Okay, so let's zoom out for a second, because Musk's reaction plugs right into this massive, ongoing debate about what his platform, X, has really turned into. Right, so under Musk's whole free speech, absolutist approach, a lot of really controversial figures who got booted off the old platform were invited back. And that has earned him both a ton of praise and, a ton of criticism. And that's kind of the central conflict here, isn't it? Is X a brave new world for open dialogue, or is it a place where unhinged content and even dangerous stuff is allowed to run wild? Now, for its part, the company's official line is clear. After Kirk's death, X put out a statement basically saying they're committed to protecting all voices and fighting against violence. Which really brings us to the core issue. What happens when you build a town square that's open to absolutely everyone, and then a tragedy hits, and that square is suddenly filled with rage and accusations, all amplified by the guy who owns the place? And it leaves us with this massive question. In one of these online meltdowns, who's really on the hook? Is it the person who sparks the fire, the platform that provides all the fuel, or the algorithms that are designed to fan the flames? It's a huge, complicated question, and honestly, we want to know what you think. Drop down into the comments and let us know your take on all this.
And that's all we've got for today. If you want to see more explainers that cut through the noise on these huge stories, you know the drill. Hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and we will see you for the next one.